fuel prices are getting out of hand. And it's serious. So serious in fact that this Go Fast channel is making a how to save fuel video. I know, it's crazy times, crazy times. Now, who am I and why should you consider believing this video? Hi, I'm Emi Kuruma, your resident automotive VTuber. And for those of you who may not know, I have actually facilitated several legitimate fuel economy runs here where I'm from. How legitimate, you might ask? You know when a manufacturer makes a billboard stating that their vehicle can do X kilometers per liter in fuel economy? I've actually observed and signed off on some of those. So I do have some knowledge on the subject. So here are some pointers on how you could save fuel in these crazy times. But before that, disclaimers, just in case I ruin your life or something. I'm not an engineer. All of these are based on my experiences driving and facilitating fuel economy runs. And most of these advices are more of generic blanket statements that applies to most internal combustion engines. So this might not apply to hybrids or pure EV vehicles. Not all cars are the same. There are some specific techniques that will work with specific cars. So we're gonna focus on the tips that will apply to most vehicles and driver skills. And also at the end of the day, please remember you are the licensed driver driving your own vehicle. Follow these tips when safe and socially acceptable to do so. Extreme fuel saving isn't always the safest thing to do, So please use your judgment. If it's not safe to do these techniques, then don't force it. Fun fact, one of the worst accidents I've ever had, ever, was during one of these eco runs. We were traveling the minimum speed limit on the slow lane when a speeding commuter van rammed us from behind. I mean, technically it's not our fault, but statistically speaking, going slower than the speed of traffic is actually more dangerous than going slightly faster. So remember, safety is our #1 priority. So if it doesn't feel safe, abort! Tip number 1, remove unnecessary clutter from your vehicle. More weight means more fuel. The less stuff your engine needs to move, the better. If you leave your weekend camping chairs and coolers at the back, you might just want to leave them at home on your daily commute. And if you're the type, like me before, I'm guilty of this, who brings your whole garage's worth of tools with you all the time, consider going through your toolbox again and only bring the essentials. I mean, I know that 3-ton alligator jack sure is handy, but a scissor jack should be able to cover most emergencies. Next is keep tabs on your tire pressure. Yes, something as trivial as tire pressure can mean a lot. Underinflated tires will have more rolling resistance, forcing your engine to work harder. So make sure to inflate your tires properly. If you don't know how much to put, there's usually a sticker by the driver's side door that tells you the recommended pressure from the manufacturer. Next is maintenance. Keeping your car in tip-top shape is important for fuel economy. One faulty sensor can make your engine default to a safer, more wasteful mode to prevent engine damage. Usually when the ECU is confused, it just dumps a bit more fuel just to be safe. Wheel alignment is also important. If your toe is too far off, not only do you waste tires, but it also creates unnecessary drag that your engine needs to overcome. Next is aerodynamics. Aerodynamics play a big role in fuel economy, especially at highway speeds. The easier it is for your car to cut through the air, the less fuel you'll use. So if you're not using that roof or bike rack, you might want to take it off. Now for the driving part. Did you know that your driving is what affects fuel economy the most? So literally, by just driving more mindfully, you can save a lot more fuel. First off, don't try to rev the engine too much. I mean, I know, horsepower and peak torque are up there, but higher RPMs means more friction the engine needs to overcome to turn. Also, to prevent damage at higher loads, engines tend to be tuned to use more fuel than needed at higher RPM. This is because fuel can also act as a coolant, and extra fuel also help deter engine damaging knock at high loads. Now that's a whole nother different topic that we'll discuss in another video, so if you don't want to miss that, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, this is literally the air fuel target table I use when tuning my BMW E36. This is actually where I plug my values to compute for stuff. Yes, I do my own engine tuning also. So this is load and this is RPM. Now the optimal burn for gasoline is a ratio of 14.7 parts air to 1 part fuel. And that's what you see here at low RPMs and low load. As you can see, for the safety and health of the engine, we intentionally oversaturate the engine with fuel the more load and RPM there is. So in general, try to keep your engine RPMs low, maybe between 1,500 to around 2,000 RPMs. Depends on the engine, sometimes 2,500 RPMs. Of course, each engine is different, but this range should more or less work for most. I mean, some engines don't mind cruising at 1,200 RPMs. But don't lug your engine. If your engine feels exceptionally sluggish at 1,200 RPMs, don't cruise there, don't cruise there. Go at like 1.5 or 2,000. Up next is gearing. You want to cruise at your car's highest gear. So if it's a 5-speed, 5th gear. If it's a 7-speed, 7th gear. If it's a CVT, ignore this advice because you just let the CVT do its thing. As you notice, the higher the gear you're in, the lower your engine RPM is given the same speed. This means your engine will physically turn fewer revolutions to cover the same distance in a higher gear. Fewer revolutions means fewer combustion cycles, meaning less fuel. If this concept is kinda alien, don't worry! We have a video about it. You can refer to our How an Engine Works video and How a Transmission Works video. Now let's combine some of these concepts. Top gear, low RPM, and aerodynamics. Sakana! Sakana! Bonus points if you guys know what reference that's from. Supaka! In a nutshell, you want to cruise at a constant speed at top gear at the lowest RPM your car can without lugging the engine. So cars where I'm from, they're pretty small cars, most have short gearing. So I find over here that the most fuel efficient speed is around 60 kilometers per hour. But some longer geared cars can't cruise at 60 at the highest gear. So for those cars, 80 kilometers per hour might be most efficient. Anything above 80 kilometers per hour for most cars I think would already be too much. And at that point, you will be battling the air. Yes, I know there are cars out there that are more aerodynamic, that have longer gears, that can probably do like 100, 120 as their like most efficient speed. But again, for most cars, 60 to 80, 60 to 80. If you have a CVT transmission though, continuously variable transmission, I just stick to around 80. 80 is like it's a good number, it's a good number. So now that you know the sweet spot of where your car is most efficient, it's time to try and stay there as much as you can when cruising, neither accelerating nor decelerating. The key is to preserve momentum. I mean, you spent so much gas, your engine worked so hard to get you up to a speed, you don't want to unnecessarily waste any of it. Every time you have to unnecessarily slow down, you waste fuel since you have to speed up again. So try as much as you can to preserve that momentum by looking ahead and anticipate. Are there obstacles incoming? Can I position myself early on so I don't need to slow down as much? One way of doing that is actually to not tailgate the person in front of you. You want to leave some room. So just in case the car in front of you, keeps varying speed, you don't need to. You can keep a steady speed here at the back. Because if you're tailgating, if that guy lifts off, you need to lift off. When he speeds up, you need to speed up, and you're both just wasting fuel. In general, maintaining a constant speed is the simplest way to be more fuel efficient. Also, take special note. Are you one of those drivers who grabs the brake when hesitating? Because a lot of you guys out there have experienced this, when you're driving, there's a car like on the other lane, and their brake pads are just like going on and off, without anything in front of them. Yeah, don't be that. I mean, I get it if you're new, driving is scary. I mean, it is a serious activity, but it's a wasteful habit to have. So as early as now, if you can, stop doing that, that'd be nice. Mostly, that is a byproduct of not looking far ahead enough. Since you're looking so close, you get spooked by everything that just suddenly appears in front of you. So one way to minimize that is look ahead, look far. That way, when you hesitate or when you need to think, you can actually determine, do I need to brake? Should I lift throttle? Or, maybe I can think while just maintaining speed, because that'll be more fuel efficient. And there's also a bonus to cruising at 60 to 80 kilometers per hour. Most cars on the highway will tend to be faster than you at that speed. That means you don't need to lift off the throttle or brake as much because you rarely encounter a slower car. You can maintain your speed easier. Just make sure though you're in the correct lane and don't impede anyone who wants to go faster. Share the road. If someone wants to go faster, they have the capacity, let them through. Because for example, you have a long geared car that's aerodynamic, that's most efficient at like 100 kilometers per hour, but you have to constantly slow down and speed up because the rest of traffic is holding you back, then you'll just end up using more fuel. Heck, if the flow of traffic is just 50 kilometers per hour, going 40 kilometers per hour might be the most efficient in that specific scenario. Now, before we get to the more meaty discussion of how to accelerate and decelerate efficiency, congratulations! You made it this far into the video! If you're new here, you might be wondering who the hell is this figment of your imagination lecturing you on how to save fuel. Hi, I'm Emi Kuruma, your resident automotive VTuber. If you want more of whatever this is you're watching right now, we do have multiple socials you can check on. We have car videos on this channel, and we also stream playing games multiple times a week. You can also join our community. And if you've been liking this video so far, please don't forget to give it a like. It'll really help with our algorithm. And subscribe if you want to see more. And if I did help you save fuel and you do want to help support this channel, you can do so by buying some gamer subs. It's a zero sugar, zero calorie drink that keeps you going. I personally use it on my IRL races. You can use our product code EMIKURUMA to get 10% off, or use our link below. Our streamer elements and Ko-Fi donation pages are also down there as well. Thank you guys, this channel wouldn't have been possible without your support. I mean, like right now, I just got a DJI Mic 3. It's $300. Not cheap, I know, but it's worth it. Thanks to the noise cancelling, I can now record at any time of the day because it filters out the street outside my house. No more random pauses when a motorcycle passes by. So thank you guys, thank you for everything. I wouldn't be here without you. Okay, now back to the interesting, more complicated part. How do we get to and from that efficient cruising speed? I mean, of course, we need to stop at some point, right? So when setting off, avoid hard acceleration. Apply just the right amount of throttle and don't raise the RPM too much. That graph I showed you, you want to still be around that 14.7 target. But remember, don't lug your engine. High throttle applications at low RPMs will just make you dump more fuel without really going anywhere. And in some cases, it might not actually be healthy for your engine also. Some engines really don't like being lugged. But you may ask, what the hell is engine lugging? This anime wolf girl keeps on saying engine lugging, but it's not explaining what the hell it is. So here it is. Stay with me with this one because it's gonna get a bit technical because, you know, volumetric efficiency and stuff. For example, at 1000 RPMs, you may notice that your throttle pedal is only responsive to up to like 25% throttle position. When you apply more than 25% to full throttle, it kind of feels the same. The car doesn't want to go forward. You can even say that half throttle and full throttle doesn't really make a difference in acceleration. Now let's try that at 3000 RPMs. Whoa, now the pedal is responsive up to like half throttle. But from half to full, again, still kinda dull. And now at high RPMs, that's when the whole pedal is responsive. What I'm saying here is, there's a potential for you to use more fuel, but not actually go anywhere. At 1000 RPMs, half throttle and full throttle will make you accelerate almost at the same rate. But naturally, at full throttle, you're dumping more fuel. So the trick is when accelerating, you don't want to get into that wasteful engine lugging pedal range. Luckily, in modern engines with electronic throttle bodies, the computer kind of figures this out for you and prevents engine lugging even when your foot is like on the floor. It'll limit the throttle body from fully opening to prevent engine lugging. But on an older car with cable throttle and especially carbureted engines, you need to be more mindful. And that's why modern cars are a bit more fuel efficient, because no matter how stupid you are with the throttle pedal, the throttle body won't allow you to just dump unnecessary fuel. Like, it's all coded into the ECU. So hello my Kuromatics, we are currently in my personal E36. As you can see, it's equipped with an AFR gauge, so we know our air-fuel mixture. Oh, we're drifting, wow! Amazing. I'll power slide. Okay, so we're now in third gear, 2000 RPMs. Let me get to a steady speed here, right? So the magic number is 14.7 on our AFR gauge. So when I slowly accelerate to 3000 RPMs, and note this is an uphill, right? We're barely touching 13 because I'm slowly accelerating to 3000 RPMs with the throttle. I'm like, I think 20 to 30% throttle, maybe less. Maybe like 15 to 20. But now we're at downhill, so we should actually see less load here. But at 2000 RPMs, if I crawl to 3000 at the larger throttle position, I do half, it goes instantly to 12. You see? You see? That's because when you want to demand more from the engine would actually intentionally dump more fuel in. And this is proof of that. This is proof of that. So slowly accelerating to your desired RPM might be more fuel efficient since you stay at that 14.7-ish AFR, like right now. See, we're again uphill. We're still at 14, hitting 15 sometimes. That's good, that's good. This time we will experiment with lugging the engine. We're at third gear, 1000 RPMs. If I floor the throttle, it's buckling, it's not doing anything. Our AFRs are like 12, right? Barely doing anything. Now let's go back to 1000 RPMs. If I do half throttle, it's practically the same. But now we're doing 13 AFR, right? So this is proof of what I'm saying. But then if we gradually, but we need to go back to 1000 RPMs for that. There, 1000 RPMs, right? So we're in third gear, but if we gingerly raise the RPMs, you know, not lug the engine, give it the right throttle position that the RPM can handle. See, we're barely touching 13, barely. 13.9 at most. Now for decelerating. How do we stop efficiently? I did say trying to maintain speed is the most efficient, but it's different when you know you need to stop. Like for a stoplight, for example. When you see a stoplight in the distance and it's one of those, you know, countdown timer stoplights, and the stoplight is approaching 0 and you're still kind of far off, there is no use maintaining speed. Lift off the throttle as early as you can and start decelerating. Up, 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 up. Don't put that in neutral. I can see you. You're putting it in neutral. Don't put that thing in neutral. Unless you have a carbureted car, modern engines actually shut off your fuel injectors when engine braking. That means you're in gear with your feet off the clutch and the gas pedal. The thing is, when you're coasting in neutral, your injectors need to stay on so your engine can idle. But if you're engine braking, you're literally using zero fuel. And no, that is not a myth. Like, I don't know why people are arguing about this. That is not a myth. Here is the actual parameter on the ECU of a BMW M54 E36. Yes, I also tune M54s. When your foot is off the pedal, anything above 1024 RPMs, your injectors will be shut off. And yes, there's also the parameter you edit if you want pops and bangs. Not that I condone pops and bangs, but yeah, if you put this at around 7000 RPMs, when you lift off, your injectors won't shut off. So there'll still be fuel going to your engine and it'll go bang, 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 bang. 12s, 13s, 12.5. Ah, chat, I missed this car. I haven't driven this car in like 3 weeks. Man, E36s are good, man. E36s are good. So when you know you need to slow down or stop, engine braking for as long as you can will be the most fuel efficient. Braking at the last moment means your injectors are on for longer, and we don't want that. So yeah, that means when safe, and I can't stress enough, only when it's safe, avoid using the brake pedal so you can engine brake for longer. Actually, if you can avoid stopping altogether, that'll be the most fuel efficient. What do I mean? Again, in the distance, you see the countdown stoplight timer. Currently it's red, but it's about to turn green. But the scenario is if you keep your 60 kilometers per hour, you'd have to stop since you'd reach the intersection with the light still red. But let's say early enough you were able to drop your speed to like 40 kilometers per hour, you engine braked a bit, and that allowed you the delay so that when you reach the intersection it turns green. That'll be good. That'll be good. You're 60 kilometers per hour, engine braking to 40 kilometers per hour, then accelerating back to 60 kilometers per hour will be more fuel efficient than if you went from 60, then 0 because you stopped at the light, then back to 60 again. Again, do it only when it's safe to do so. Countdown timers on stoplights can be wrong sometimes. They can reach 0, then the light won't change. And legally, you follow the light, not the countdown. So give it some margin of error. Don't aim for exactly when the timer runs out, and be always prepared to full stop just in case the red stays on. Safety is our #1 priority here. Now, before I mention the most most effective fuel saving tip. Let's go address what some of the more experienced viewers here are thinking. Because yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yes, there are car enthusiasts out there whose specific hobby is to be as fuel efficient as they can be. The hypermilers. And yes, there are more techniques to save even more fuel, but the more advanced techniques those people do require specific knowledge and dedication. The tips I mentioned here are on the safer side and is applicable to most vehicles and even to most driver skills. You don't need to be a specialist. For example, these guys do extreme aerodynamic modification so their car can cut through the air. I should stop doing that. but yeah, they do aerodynamic modifications that I don't even know are legal, just so they can get their miles per gallon, kilometers per liter value up. They even install brake booster reservoirs so their hydrovacs can work for longer even when they shut their engine off while cruising at highway speeds. That can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. They will strip their cars bare just to save weight. But then again, we go fast enthusiasts do that also. And did you know there is such a thing as a warm air intake? That's because warm air means less molecules of oxygen per area, meaning the engine computer can actually shove less fuel in your engine. Now I don't know how healthy that is because that might produce knock at like high loads. So not advisable again unless you know what you're doing. So yeah, some of these mods and techniques can be straight up dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And I know, Pulse and Glide does work, but only for specific vehicles and if you know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it properly, you're just probably gonna waste more fuel. So we will not get into that. And now, for the most fuel efficient tip, drum roll. Don't drive when you don't need to. Don't use the car or motorcycle, because technically these tips apply to motorcycles also. Planning is your biggest weapon. If you don't need to go out, don't. If you can use public transport, use public transport. If it's close by, use a bike or walk. If you can, avoid rush hours, because idling is like one of the major killers of fuel consumption. And plan your errands more efficiently. Like if you're gonna go out of the house that day anyway, might as well do all the errands you can on the way and on the way back. Saving on fuel is always a good idea. I mean, even as a speed enthusiast like me, there are times where you go full throttle, but then there are times where it doesn't make sense. Just save fuel. Save fuel so you have more fuel when you can have fun, Not when we're stuck in traffic and commuting on a daily basis. I hope I genuinely got to help you guys out. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao. Pretend to walk. Fade to black. Oh wait, everyone. Oh, okay. Ow, 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 ow.